Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute since I've been here talking to y'all. That's a topic for another day, another video, because today I'm excited about what I got here. As you can tell from the box, I got the brand new to me, DJI Mini 5 Pro Fly More combo. I've owned several DJI drones over the years, but this one might be one that I'm most excited about because of all the new tech that they put into it. I say new tech, it's really only a couple things. This one shoots 4K up to 120 frames per second. It's got new obstacle avoidance system. It's got up to 36 minutes of flight time, and somehow it still fits in a small package. This one will definitely fit in your backpacks, your camera bags, even a sling bag. I believe it'll fit in there. Actually, I'm going to try that. I got the Peter McKinnon 8-liter, 9-liter sling bag. I bet you money it fits in there just fine. So let's get everything unboxed, let's get it set up, and let's see if it's truly worth the upgrade. You know, one thing that DJI has done for a long time is their packaging. They nail it every time. And this one, no different. I mean, look at that. I like DJI products. This overhead shot is shot with the Action 6. But yeah, let's get everything out, get everything unboxed, and we will see what all we get. This bag, it's a nice bag. It's nicer than the Mini 4 that I had, bag that came with it. I like this one a lot better. In this box, you'll get, if you get the Fly More combo, you get ND filter. Of course, regulations and instruction manuals and stickers. Always good to have more stickers. And then something that I'm excited about are these new props. Because if what I read is correct, and it is, I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. You can. Right there on the old drones, or the Mini 4, or anything prior to the Mini 5, was these ridiculously small screws that were such a pain to change with this tiny screwdriver, and these just twist on now like it's bigger drones. So that is a huge welcome, because if you've got to change out a prop, if you crash it and you break a prop, hit a twig, you should be flying with fresh props anyway. This will just save time and frustration. Here's the ND filters. They're nice ND filters. These are just the ones that come with DJIs, or these are just DJIs. These, now, this might be something that, I don't know. I think back, like, I don't know, remember what drone it was, but they had ones that just kind of clipped on to the gimbal. These are the same setup. These just clip onto the front of the drone, instead of like the Mini 4, you had the front piece of the camera that would come off, and the ND filters would just twist on there and stay. So we'll see. I mean, not much I can do about it now. Like I was saying, I got the Fly More combo, so it came with 2 extra batteries and a charging hub. This charging hub is a 2-way charger. So it will, you can plug your remote controller into this. You can plug your phone into it, either or, and charge it off of these batteries. So that is something good. That's very welcomed. They've had it on other drones prior to this one, but it's still that they've continued to include this feature is a good thing. This is the RC2 controller. I loved the other controller on the first one, just because it's got a built-in screen. You don't have to worry about having your phone and stuff, and this just feels so much better in the hand. And now for the main attraction, the DJI Mini 5 Pro drone. There's one feature on this drone that I'm excited for. I do like that is much better than the previous generation. The feature that I'm most excited about is this right here. This right back leg prop, arm, whatever you want to call it. Once you pull it out, it automatically starts the boot sequence on the drone. You see that? It's already ready to go, and I don't even have the other legs out yet. That is a real time saver there. First impressions of this drone is it's small. It's the same size as the Mini 4 that I just got rid of not too long ago. But I like this size. I had an Air 3 at one time, and that was an amazing drone. They're all amazing drones. But I just like this one for the size, the weight, when I'm packing it in my camera bag. I mean, this thing only weighs 249 grams. But let's talk about the camera on this thing, because let's be honest, that's the real reason why you probably bought a drone, was to get different perspectives. The camera itself is a 50 megapixel 1-inch CMOS sensor. It's got an aperture of f1.8. It's a 24 millimeter lens. It does have a 2x zoom on it, which is equivalent to a 48 millimeter lens. It's got up to 14 stops of dynamic range in this thing. It takes RAW photos, JPEG photos. The video specs are this thing will shoot up to 4K, 120 frames per second. It does 4K HDR at 60 frames per second. It shoots in 10-bit D-Log-M. It's got HLG support, vertical video mode. The gimbal itself will rotate up to 225 degrees to get those cool inception shots. And from what, it's probably like every other neat little feature like that. At first, everybody plays with it, and then it just kind of wears off. But one of the features that I liked, that I loved about the Mini 4, was the horizontal and vertical shooting mode. You know, as somebody who shoots YouTube and TikTok content, being able to switch instantly from vertical to horizontal or horizontal to vertical, it's a big deal. Of course, if they would have put open gate on this little thing, it would have been so much better, like you got with the Action 6. But of course, image quality doesn't matter much if you're afraid to fly this thing, and you really shouldn't be. I mean, these things are so great now with all the tech, all the safety features that they have built into them. This one's got omnidirectional obstacle avoidance. It's got LiDAR assisted night sensing. It's active track 360 degrees, so all the way around this thing will be tracked. It does master shots, quick shots. It's got waypoint flights, which you can program with the remote. And then of course, the one of the best safety features is the return to home. And if you don't know what that is, when you're up flying and you're out so far, given you shouldn't be more than visual line of sight, but say you're not, and something happens and your drone disconnects from your remote. The return to home feature, GPS locks where it took off at, so it will automatically fly. If you have it set up, it will automatically fly back to where it took off. You can also set it up to where it will just stop and hover, which I wouldn't recommend. And then it's got it sort of set up, you can set it up to where it'll just land. I wouldn't recommend that. I would always have it return to home. The battery life on the Fly More combo that I got is up to 36 minutes. I chose to go with the smaller flight time, the smaller battery. I mean, they're really not smaller batteries, they're the same size, but the the lower flight time, because I wanted to keep this drone under 249 grams. That way I don't really have to register it. I will anyway, just because I'm going to get my Part 107 license. So that I plan on doing a short little video series on that. If you want to follow along, be sure to subscribe, like, comment. But I am going to be getting my Part 107 license for this, so I can start making some money with this thing. It's rated up to 12.4 miles in range. You're obviously not going to be flying that far. If you are, you've got to have spotters along the way. And realistically, you're not going to get 12.4 miles of range out of this. It does have improved interference resistance, but real world flight times are always less than advertised. I mean, they're doing these things in perfect conditions, no interference, no wind, nothing. But even then, this should be able to handle whatever it is you need. The first thing, if you're new to drones, is you want to charge the batteries up to max. And then there's nothing else really to install. I mean, once you turn the drone on and the remote controller on, the RC2 on, they'll automatically connect to each other. You'll have to activate the drone, and then you're going to want to update the firmware. I guarantee you there's going to be an update on the firmware, so do it. I highly recommend anytime there's an update, doing it anyway. You may or may not have to calibrate the compass. If you do, there's onboard instructions on the screen. And then you're ready to fly. There's a simulator app in here that you, if you're new to drone flying drones, that you can do and play with in here. And then if the weather holds off and I get all of these batteries charged and get the firmware updates tonight, I'll take it outside and I'll show you around my neighborhood, show you how I fly it. There's just something special about seeing your neighborhood from a completely different perspective, a perspective that you're not ever going to get on the ground, obviously. That's why I love drones. That's why I love flying drones. They're fun. You get to see things differently. They don't just capture footage. They tell stories from angles that we could never see from the ground. So after all of this unboxing, being able to handle this drone, hold this drone, another thing that I do like about this is the color. From what I've seen other YouTubers say, this one's a little bit easier to spot because it's a darker gray than the previous models, which were more of a very light gray. But I'm honestly impressed with this so far. And given I haven't got it up in the air, but I'm sure it'll handle just like any of the other drones. You know, it's got the 1-inch sensor, 4K 120, advanced tracking, obstacle avoidance. All of this packed into a drone that's small enough to throw in a backpack is quite impressive. But the real question isn't whether it's capable. The question is whether it's capable enough to replace larger drones for most creators. I think so. I don't need a bigger drone. Oh, and that's exactly what I'm going to test in the next video. So if you'd like to see the full image quality, low light test, comparisons to some of my other cameras. Now, given I don't have any other drones, but compared to my Sony A7C, my DJI Action 6, my Pocket 3, my Nano, make sure you're subscribed because that's what's coming next. And then, like I said, I'm gonna also start another series on practice tests, studying, how I'm gonna study to get my Part 107 license. So if that sounds interesting to y'all, subscribe, like, comment, come back, and I'll see you on the next one.